Hi everyone, salut tout le monde. Ce matin, je vais faire la pratique en anglais et en français, un petit peu plus en anglais pour rejoindre mes amis anglophones. So this class will be held mostly in English for you guys who are speaking English. So here we are. Let's start first in child's pose. So you can join the big toes together and open up your knees as wide as you wish. Sit your pelvis on your heels. Take a deep breath in just to feel the length of your spine, and then let's exhale to fold forward. And for today, let's extend the arms overhead so we tap into the meridian of our lungs and heart. Breathing here consciously without forcing, pulling, or pushing anything, just taking a deep, full breath in and a deep and full breath out. Laissez-vous déposer ici pour quelques cycles de respiration. And so as you are landing here now, just take a moment to observe how you feel physically, mentally, emotionally, but also energetically. So it's been almost a week that we are quarantined in our houses, so it might have an impact on your physical body, your mental body mostly, and maybe your emotional body as well. And then let's just lift the forehead and the elbows off the floor a little bit so you can travel your hands up to the right and extend through the left side. Focusing here your inhalations into the left side, the left lung, the left ribs. And then lift up to travel to the left to open up through the right side of the body. Prolongez vos inspirations dans le flanc droit. Focussez au niveau du poumon droit ici. And then slowly come back to center. Reach your fingertips forward. Press into your palms to shift your pelvis as far back as possible. Feeling the compression around the abdominal area, but also the front of your hips, thighs, low belly. Expanding the navel around. Pressing the belly against the inner thighs. And then softening it as you breathe out. On your next breath in, round your back, come up into all fours, shift your knees underneath your hips. Inhale to reach the crown of the head and the tailbone up, and then exhale to round the back. Couple of times. And then stay in your cow back. Yes, it's the cow. And then tuck your toes under, shift your pelvis back towards your heels and then up to the sky. Taking a few steps with your heels, pédalez vos talons ici. Laissez le poids de la tête relâcher complètement. Adho Mukha Svanasana, which is super good. Well, any inversions actually are really good to stimulate our immune system. And then coming to stillness. Let's inhale to roll in towards a plank, and let's stay a couple of breaths in our plank, pushing the floor away. Feel the front of the body supporting the back. Press your palms firmly into the mat. Spread your fingers, even grip lightly your mat with your finger pads. Press your heels, expanding the soles of your feet.
One more breath in. And then let's exhale to lower the knees, the chest down, bend the elbows sideways. For baby cobra, top of the feet down, pressez le dessus des pieds dans le sol. Et avec l'arrière de la tête soulevée. There's pretty much no pressure in your hands, so you can stay here a couple of breaths, activating the muscles along your spine, squeezing the elbows back. Keeping the eye at the back of your head wide open so you can see what's happening back there. And then let's exhale to release. Press yourself back to child's pose. Posture de l'enfant, balasana. Expanding the back as you breathe in and allowing it to soften as you breathe out. Now from here, let's inhale to move forward. And as you're gonna exhale, bend the elbows and lower it down. So you're ready to come into a Bhujangasana Cobra as you breathe in. And then breathing out, navel to the spine, hips back to your heels, child's pose. And then let's just do that a couple of times. Breathing in, forward, out to lower down, half chaturanga, breathe in, back bend. Breathe out, child's pose. Couple more cycles. Notice the waves of your spine as you're moving forward and back. And maybe at some point you'll feel the inspiration of pressing the top of your feet down, coming up to Urdhva Mukha Svanasana, chien à tête en haut. And then lowering down the knees, back to child's pose. And let's do one more round. Inhale forward. Expirez, serrez les coudes, descendez avec l'inspire. Peut-être chien tête en haut, cobra. And then wherever you are here, tuck your toes under. Let's lift up and back into Adho Mukha Svanasana, decompressing the spine here. The head is heavy in between the arms. Lift your right leg up and back. And then exhale, bring the knee to your nose, step your right foot forward, lower down your left knee, squaring off the hips here, really light into the back knee. If you need, prop it up with something, and then reach your right arm forward and up as you're gonna breathe in, back and down as you breathe out a couple of times. And then last time, stay as you inhale, exhale to twist a little more. So twists are really good to stoke our inner fire, digestive fire, which can help when our immune system has to fight against some kind of their viruses, mighty viruses. One more breath in, and then let's breathe out to release. Inhale to open up the spine, the collarbones. And then as you're gonna exhale, start a twist towards the right. So your arms are on the side of your right hip, and then just keep twisting. So eventually you come and land into Gomukhasana. Please feel free to sit onto something higher, like a pillow, blanket, whatever you have on hand. And you want both of your knees to be stacked, one on top of the other. Heels are outside of the hips for Gomukhasana. Sit bones are anchored. And then let's reach the arms up and overhead. As you breathe out, bend your right elbow and find your right, find it with your left hand. On attrape le coude droit avec la main gauche, tirez vers le ciel à l'inspire. Et puis une légère arche vers la gauche à l'expire. So breathing here into your right lung. Even though it's impossible to physically breathe a bit more into one lung, just imagine. Allow your breath to pour into the right lungs, to bring new blood, oxygenated blood, whatever you say that, full of oxygen. Good. And then come back to center. If it makes sense for you, release your left arm, go into an internal rotation and catch your fingertips behind. You could hold onto your sweater or your piece of clothing behind
Take a deep breath in, lengthening the spine. And then let's exhale to fold forward, compressing here the abdominal organs in the flexion. Keep reaching through the crown of the head as you're folding from the hips. Squeezing the inner thighs. And then inhale to rise back up. Release the arms. Inhale to the fingertips. And then let's exhale to spin hands forward. Push the floor away. Come into plank. And then just staying here in this very symmetrical posture to notice the differences or difference in between both sides. And then go ahead, push into your toes with or without your knees, chaturanga, back bend of your legging. And then let's meet back down dog. Second side, left leg up and back, three-legged dog, and then let's bring the left foot forward, keeping your right hand down, top of the back foot down as well, and then reach the left arm up, and then back and down as you breathe out. Just do that a couple of times. Inspirez, bras gauche vers le ciel. Augmentez la torsion avec l'expiration vers le sol. And feel free to follow your own rhythm. So if you feel like you need to do that a couple more times, please do. And then at some point come to stillness. Looking up to your drishti, which is your left thumb. If it hurts the neck, just look down to your hand. And then let's exhale to release. Inhale to open up the front of the body. And then walk your hands to the left and start across your legs to sit. Good. So I'll do that so you can see what's happening with the back on the side, reaching the arms up. Inhale. And then bend the left elbow, catch hold of it with your right hand. Attrapez votre coude gauche avec la main droite. La paume de la main gauche est à plat contre le arrière du corps. And then breathe in to lengthen the spine, keeping the low ribs in. Good. A little bit of a side bend towards the right. Squeeze the inner thighs. And let's avoid lifting the left hip, right? So keep a little bit of weight, pressing it down, rooting it down. If it makes sense, come back to center, stay here, or add the second arm behind your back avec une rotation interne dans le bras. Vous pouvez attraper les doigts ou un morceau de vêtement. And then let's inhale and fold forward as we're going to exhale. Using the breath to increase the experience here. In and around the lungs, in and around the belly. And then go ahead and rise back up, stretch the arms, inhale to the fingertips, and then spin towards the front of your mat, hands down, push back to plank. Donnez-vous une pause, un moment ici d'immobilité pour sentir la différence entre les deux côtés. Et si ça vous appelle, allez vers un vinyasa chaturanga, inspirez vers l'avant, exhale, lower down, inhale to open up the front of the lungs, and the thymus right above the sternum bone. And then let's exhale, downward facing dog. Deep breath in, full breath out, and then let's lower down the knees. Coming here to child's pose. And after a couple of breaths in child's pose, rise back up to virasana, so posture du héros assis sur les talons. Avec la prochaine inspiration, soulevez les deux bras vers le ciel pour une torsion assise. Dirigez la main gauche à l'extérieur de la jambe droite, la main droite derrière vous. So pressing the left palm on the outside of your right thigh to create kind of a leverage here. Now notice if you're yanking your shoulders and try to keep them soft and floaty above the rib cage. Twisting from the deep belly here, which you cannot see underneath that huge sweater, but you know. And then maybe turning the chin towards the right shoulder. to get a nice stretch on the left side of the neck, you might want to play a little bit with your chin up and down, finding that juicy spot. Et puis gardez la main droite à l'arrière de votre pied droit ou un petit peu plus vers le côté si c'est plus accessible. And then one breath, one movement. So as you're going to inhale, start to lift your pelvis, swing your left arm out to the right. And as you exhale, come into little thunderbolt. And then bring the pelvis back down. And then you can do that a couple of times. Breathe in, breathe out. And in. And out. Coming back to center, reach both of your arms up. And then let's twist to the other side. For a good, let's say 10 breaths. So focusing here on the quality of your breath, not the quantity, not the time you're spending here. Maybe adding a little bit of movement for the neck. En ajoutant des mouvements très doux mais très lents pour aller chercher des étirements plus intéressants au niveau de la gorge et du cou. And then keeping your left hand back there. So you're going to breathe in, sweep your right arm out to the right, whoop, overhead. And as you breathe out, come back down. Faites attention à votre mobilier, à vos plans. Inspirez up, expire down, and then one more time. Inhale to reach the arms up this time, hips above your knees, and then you can tuck your toes under. Now think about lifting the skin of your lower belly up to the chin and lowering down the skin of your sacrum down towards your knees. So you get that posterior tilt of your pelvis. And still with both of your arms up, exhale, and just start to lower back to find your right heel with your right fingers. Take a deep breath, maybe look up if it feels good. Exhale to engage the abdominal wall, come back up, breathe in, and then search for your left heel with your left fingertips as you breathe out. Look up, inhale. Exhale to engage. Et puis inspirez, remontez. On peut le faire encore une fois de chaque côté. Les doigts, la main droite qui cherche le talon droit. La poitrine qui s'élève vers le ciel. Et puis une dernière fois vers la gauche. Notice if one side is more comfortable or easily accessible. And then as you're going to breathe out, bring both of your arms back. You can have your hands onto the top of your pelvis, like if you were sliding your fingers in your jeans pocket. Or you can seek for your heels back there in Ustrasana. Good. Very light. My hands are not, and my arms are not like serving much here. I'm really using the strength of the spine. Think about your cobra here. Keeping the eye at the back of your head wide open so you can see what's happening back there. Stretching the skin of the entire front of the body. And then let's breathe in to rise back up. Untuck your toes and breathe out to come to sit. And just take a moment here, allowing your belly to draw in so your lower back is expanding and widening. Et puis d'ici, soulevez les bras vers le ciel, les hanches au-dessus des genoux. Avec l'expire, descendez les mains vers l'avant du tapis. Tuck your toes under. Inhale into your cow and then exhale to lift up and back, downward facing dog. Et à partir d'ici, vous pouvez marcher ou sauter. So you can hop or walk to seated. And just bring your knees into your chest. Lift your toes about the height of your eyes. For Navasana boat pose. So, à nouveau, on veut renforcer la colonne vertébrale, la supporter avec le mur abdominal bien engagé. And then you can open up your arms wide. If it floats your boat, and then reach the toes up to the sky for 2, for 1. And then let's exhale to lower, extending the legs forward, crown the head back. Take a moment, and then exhale fully to release. Good. Ramenez les talons près des fesses. Puis ici, vous pouvez attraper les côtés de votre tapis. So here you can hold onto the edges of your mat with your heels super close to your bum. Squeeze an invisible block in between your thighs. And then breathe out here to push the lower back into the ground. Roll your shoulders back as you're lifting your sternum bone up a little bit. And then extend the arms fully. On your next breath in, lift your pelvis up to the sky into Setu Bandha Sharvangasana bridge pose. Good. Do not turn your head sideways. Keep looking up to the ceiling, the same direction of the tip of your nose. Press into the heels, slide them back. Make sure that the curve of your neck is lifted. Press the shoulders, the arms down, pull the mat forward. And then let's breathe out to release, one vertebra at a time. A little bit of a little pyramid here if you need to soften the lower back to release it. And then gradually we'll kind of come up into Alasana plow pose. So second variation here will be with your fingertips interlaced underneath your back, your hands clasped together. If it doesn't work, just keep holding onto the edges of the mat. And then again, roll your shoulder blades underneath your thorax and then breathe into lift. As you're lifting the pelvis, interlace the fingers, pull the knuckles forward, press the pinkies down and all of the outer edges of your arms into the ground. Good. And just feel that sweet connection in between the chin and the chest. And rather than move the chin towards the chest, think about moving the chest towards the chin and reaching the chin up to the sky gently. Breathing deeply. The front, the side, but also the back of your lungs. And then breathing out to release. Peut-être la petite pyramide, les genoux ensemble, les pliés séparés pour laisser le bas du dos s'assouplir contre le sol. Okay, and then third variation, so just make sure that you have enough room overhead. And then again, move your shoulder blades towards one another. From here, bring the knees in towards your chest. Exhale to engage the lower belly. Think about your Navasana boat pose, but you're on your back. Good. And if in Navasana you didn't have your legs fully extended, then maybe you want to do this with your knees bent. And then from here, press your palms down. You can hold onto the edges of your mat. And as you're going to breathe out next, start to lift your bum off the floor. And then bring it back. Inhale. And then exhale to lift. Exhale to lower. And we'll do that a couple of times. Inhale to lift to the sky. Exhale down. Soulevez le bassin. Pensez à presser les orteils vers le ciel, puis vers le sol. Relâchez le bassin vers le sol. Une dernière fois. And then keep your pelvis up. Bring your toes behind your head. Good. And keep pulling the mat back. You can push your palms down. And then think about moving the chest towards the chin, not the opposite. Chin is still neutral. Back of the neck also very neutral. Pressing through the heels, engaging the thighs here so the quadriceps are lifting up. A couple more breaths. And with control, I love to do this, so catching hold of the feet and then rolling one vertebra at a time in compression. So trying to keep the belly and the thighs as close as possible as I roll the spine, one vertebra at a time. Eventually maybe knees are bent. And then bring them to your chest. Give yourself a big hug. Et puis d'ici, vous pouvez rouler d'avant en arrière. You can roll forward and back a couple of times. And then let's come to seated. Take a pillow or whatever is comfortable for you to sit on. If you're comfortable on the floor, obviously you can stay on the floor. And let's cross our legs into Sukhasana, so easy posture. Starting with something that will, a protocol actually that will stimulate the thymus gland, which is the gland responsible to the secretion of the T cells, which are the cells that help the immune system. So it's super simple. If your hands are quite cold, or if you're not wearing like a warm sweater, you can warm up your hands. Donc pour aller réveiller la glande thymus, qui est responsable de la sécrétion des cellules T, et du système immunitaire. Donc on réchauffe les mains. Et puis vraiment lentement, on va commencer à taper le sternum. There are like a collar or a necklace of glands around the collarbones as well, so you can kind of tap there as well. And then you tap, tap. Tapping is super efficient to wake up the lymphatic system. So a couple more. And then eventually you just stop, releasing your hands onto your lap, palms up if you want to receive and share energy, palms down if you want to ground yourself. And just breathing into the sensations, the residual sensations of the tapping. And for Shitali Pranayama, which is a super kind of weird breathing exercise, but that kind of worked very well. So Yogi Bhajan in one of his books says that the Shitali Pranayama will help to lower down the body temperature, so maybe will have an impact on temperature, on fever if you have or experiencing some. Donc la Sitali, c'est simple, c'est de tourner la langue en forme de U. So you want to create a U shape with your tongue like this. And then you look super smart when you do that. So close your eyes. And then you do your U shape and you breathe in through that little straw. Keep the cold air in. You might even want to unfold your tongue, push it through onto the palate. And then exhale the warm air through the nose. So here we go. And you repeat this for about like 2 to 3 minutes. If the breath retention creates some sort of anxiety, just keep breathing a little more fluidly without retaining the breath. And then eventually when you're done with all of your rounds, just stay here for a moment. Move your teeth apart, especially the molars. As you're breathing in, lengthening through the spine. And as you breathe out, engaging the sit bones into the earth. And to close the practice today, I suggest you a forward fold, which will be a very soft variation of Kurmanasana, so the tortoise posture, la posture de la tortue. Vous pouvez toujours placer un accessoire sous le bassin ou sous les genoux. Et l'idée, c'est de créer une forme de losange dans les jambes. So you want to create a diamond shape in your legs. So feet together and knees apart. So your heels are way in front of your knees. It's not like Baddha where the heels are in line with the knees. And the sit bones are anchored. The pelvis is kind of neutral to start with. And then you can take an inhale with your fingertips by your side, lengthening through the full length of your spine, opening and broadening that broad T shape at the front of your thorax. And then as you breathe out, start to hinge from the hips, so going into an anterior tilt of the pelvis. And then slowly releasing. So you could have something to support your head. Maybe you've seen this before, which is something I really love to do, is to thread the arms inside and underneath the legs. And then releasing the forehead down. So you're like that little turtle that, find comfort and peace within its shell. Donc, trouvez dans votre carapace la paix, le confort, l'assurance, la sécurité. And you want to entertain and maintain through the breath this sense of being safe, of being at home. So please stay here in Kurmanasana for as long as you need. And eventually you might want to rise back up, take a moment to bring the knees back to center, and maybe roll back to find Shavasana, a couple of breaths, a couple of minutes. Just notice how you feel now, whether you are still in the turtle posture or you're now in Shavasana. Que vous soyez encore dans la posture de la tortue, que vous soyez déposé dans la posture du cadavre, juste prendre un moment pour observer comment vous vous sentez maintenant. And you might notice that how you felt before has shifted towards how you feel now, which is in itself a change, a transformation. And what we have to learn about that is we are constantly changing, evolving. Sometimes it's a little more drastical. Sometimes it's a little softer. And you're welcome to stay here for as long as you need. I wish you all a wonderful day. Namaste.